Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, The Last Duel. Kind of excited. I mean, Matt Damon's in it, Adam Driver, Ben Affleck's in it, and maybe some other people. But, some three pretty big names right there. And it's about King Charles VI, who declares Knight Jean de Courageous settle his dispute with his squire by challenging him to a duel. Probably the last duel. Anyway, it's 7.6 on IMDb. 26,624 people have already rated it. I haven't heard much about this film at all. I mean, I knew I had it on my list, but like nothing. Normally I hear a little, bit here and there, but downside, 2 hours and 31 minutes and 50 some odd seconds long. So it's a long one. But I'll get into it, find out what it's about, give you a better idea, let you know what I think. I mean, it is kind of a period piece, which aren't, in my wheelhouse, but I have seen some that I did like. So let's see. Let me get into it. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching The Last Duel. We're at the 1 hour, 15 minute, and 12 second mark. Only halfway through the movie. But, interesting. It starts off with the duel, in a sense, a jousting duel. Adam Driver versus, I can't remember his name, holy cow. Matt Damon, of course. So, they're squires or whatever, underneath the Lord, who is Ben Affleck. Okay, so he controls most of it. He's not the king. The king is somebody else. But Ben Affleck kind of controls what they do and all that kind of stuff. So, so it starts off with the duel, and then what happens is they start telling the story. They say chapter 1, and they say Matt Damon's truth of the story. And it was interesting because I thought that it was rather quick, rather abrupt. Timelines. And they went through a lot of it, and I was like, there's not a lot of development here to get to where they wanted to go. But now you get it. Now they come back and they tell the same story from Adam Driver's perspective, basically. So it's his side of the story. All kind of leads to the same outcome, which is leading them to duel each other. But there's a lot of backstabbing. They start out what seems to be like friends. There's a lot of backstabbing, stealing of land, and favoritism from the Lord that caused them to have this tiff. Marriages, wives, all that kind of stuff. So I won't go into too much detail, but you can get it. There's, back in these medieval times, there was all the land and who owns the land and all that stuff. So, and then there's war, of course, and then people go off to war, come back. Matt Damon is more of a warrior. Adam Driver is more of Ben Affleck's right-hand man, who is the Lord who controls everything. But at first, like I said, it was interesting because I was like, this is going too quick. I mean, it seems like time is just, like their hair was changing from one scene to the next. I was like, what? But now I understand, and it makes, it's okay. So just be warned when you watch the beginning, thinking 2.5 hour movie, and we're skipping years here in the beginning. But it makes a lot more sense now that they've gone through chapter 2, which is Adam Driver's side of it. So, again, we're only halfway through, so we'll see if there's 2 more chapters and whose perspective or what happens. So, it's good. It's interesting. Like I said, at first it didn't make a lot of sense, but still, I'm not up on all the who's, squire, then lord, then, you know what I mean? So, got to kind of figure that out as I go. But I think I've got it clear so far. So, we'll get back to it here. If anything interesting happens, maybe I'll even check in if there's a chapter 3 and let you know if anything mixes with what I've told you already. Worst case scenario, I'll see you at the end and give you my final thoughts. Stick around. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of The Last Duel, and I'd say, for it being a type of genre maybe that I don't like, medieval history pieces, things like that, I really did enjoy this movie. I thought it was pretty well done, especially after I figured it out. I want to get her, Jodie Comer, she was from Free Guy. I recognized her and I was like, okay. She was the lead actress in Free Guy, and she's in this, a little different looking. but she is the eventual wife of Matt Damon's character. So it's really becomes interesting because you start to learn a little bit about the laws and the rules and the, I don't know, myths or something like that. So just to give you an example, they say that in order for a woman to become pregnant, she has to be pleasured at the end of intercourse. If she's not, then she can't become pregnant. Interesting stuff there. Another one is if she falsely accuses somebody, again, falsely accuses a man of something and it's found out that she was wrong, she gets like basically burned alive. So you know, so that all that as you learn through all this, and you know, as it pieces it all together, it gives the third perspective was from his wife's perspective of all the events that go on, you know, which is over years of time, and as I think through it all, as you see the different perspectives, you know, Adam Driver's perspective, like you would think the person's perspective would be like they are the best, you know, and it's not that way. You could see in each of their own perspectives that, hey, they're not 100% flawless or whatever. There's something to them as well, even from their own story, and not so much, you know, from somebody else's, where somebody else is going to tell you, oh no, I was right, they're wrong, or whatever, I'm better, they're bad, that kind of thing. You see a little glimpse of, you know, truth in every one of their perspectives and what has happened. I do think it should have been changed a little bit. I think Matt Damon's, of course, character should have been chapter 1, but I would think that Adam Driver's would have been the third story to tell. And I think that, you know, he could have done it a little bit differently that way. Just my 2 cents, and it's free. Maybe you'll see what I mean when you watch this movie. I don't want to go into too much detail, but well acted, of course. I mean, 3 great actors. Ben Affleck's character, he's interesting because he's got like bleach blonde hair, a little goatee, you know, and he's a lord. He does a good job, but I mean, he's only a smaller part compared to the other 2. And compared to the other 3, actually, Jodie as well. So, you know, well acted, well told story that, like I said, figure it out and realize that they're not just speeding through this movie. A little long, but otherwise, I really liked it. I thought it was good. You know, and the ending, you know, I don't know. I mean, not the dramatic climax, but I mean the actual ending. What happens after that kind of stuff. Okay. You know, a lot of different things I think they could have done there, but I think it works out. So for me, I think I'm going to give it an 8. It's rare that I give an 8, but I think so much that that's what I'm going to go for. But I did have one other thing I was going to relate it to, but I don't know what it is. So if I think of it between now and, you know, making my pizza, I'll check back in. But I did have one other thought towards this movie, similar to what I watched last night. I don't know. But that's it. An 8 for me. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, let me know. If not, I'm sorry. I'll try it better next time. Make sure you subscribe. Alright, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub. Quick edit here. What I was thinking, real quick, and we'll cut you loose, was I've been watching, you know, you watch all the Marvel movies, Shang-Chi, and Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and I always talk about, you know, the action scenes, the fight scenes. They're kind of gotten a little tiresome because it's all kind of the same stuff. You're just bouncing around all over the place, and you just want to see who wins at the end and see that last trick that gets them through. However, this one, the action fight scene, the actual duel, was a lot more interesting to me because you don't see that often. It's not superheroes slamming each other around off different walls and using superpowers. It was, you know, an actual fight between men. So I thought that came to mind, and I thought that was very interesting, and I liked it, and that made me enjoy the film even a little bit more. All right, that's it. I wanted to throw that back in there. Now you can take off. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.